So, Jai, you've got T cell leukemia, but there's also B cell leukemia. So, can you talk us through a bit more about that? Thank you.
Okay, sorry. So the blood is made of sort of three or four components, if you like. You've got the liquid component, which is plasma, and then the sort of solid component, the cells. So of the cells, you have the red cells, i.e. they have got hemoglobin, so they're the oxygen carrying component of blood, so the red stuff. Then you've got platelets. So platelets are involved in clotting, and so that is part of a system that stops you from bleeding, for example, when you're cut. And then you have the white cells. And the white cells are the cells that form the immune system, if you like. Now you have within the white cells, you've got T cells and B cells, which are the main components. T cells named because they're from the thymus gland, and B cells because they're from the bone marrow or bursa-derived cells, hence T and B. Now, the immune system, and they form the immune system. So T cells are involved in what we call cell-mediated immunity. What do I mean by that? They actually orchestrate other cells to fight invaders, if you like. B cells are dealt with, well, what they do is humoral immunity. So what does that mean? They produce antibodies in response to invaders. Antibodies are proteins which then stick, well, in various ways, try and neutralize invaders or kill them. So the first process involves recognizing invaders, so non-self, if you like. So, you know, they don't form an immune reaction to one, thank goodness, but then when an invader comes, so an invader could be a bacteria, a virus, or a cancer, then the first process is actually recognizing that. And then there's a specific tailored response depending on whether you're a B cell or a T cell. So B cells, as I say, they then produce antibodies, they neutralize the bacteria and viruses. T cells, well, there are two main types. There are several types of T cells, but you've got T helper cells. And what do T helper cells do? Well, they produce cytokines or proteins which act to orchestrate other cells to gobble up invaders, if you like. There are also other cells called T cytotoxic cells, and they produce more, they have a more direct effect in attacking invaders. So they produce granules, which are proteins that also induce the death, if you like, of invaders. So after activation, B and T cells leave a legacy of there's a legacy of the antigen, or the surface, the invader, a mark of the invader they've encountered in the form of memory cells. So that's essentially B and T cells, if you like.
Thank you, Jai. And that was probably a very simplified version.
Well, that's about as much as I could actually go, because I'm quite simple myself.